This is a Q&A video. You guys have sent me some questions and I'll answer them. It's pretty much what it says on the tin. What's your favorite football shirt that you don't have yet? So I do have a lot of favorite football shirts, of course, but some of them are unattainable, like Matchworn Feyenoord shirts from the 70s are like gold dust. But I think in terms of a shirt that I would like to add to the collection in the near future is the West Ham shirt from the 90s with the Dr. Martin sponsor on the front. I think that is a very nice shirt and I think it is obtainable. I've been looking for it for about half a year. I think that is one of my favorite shirts that I like to add to my collection in the near future. Why and when do you start collecting shirts? I think I started collecting about 3 years ago, and it was mainly because of the pandemic. A lot of stores were closed and the only stores that were still active were like Vinted and Marktplaats, and I was always interested in football shirts. I often bought them when we were on holiday as some kind of memory on that holiday. Most of them are awful fake, so they're not worth anything right now. But I think the spark for collecting football shirts starting there, and you know, during the pandemic I watched videos of people like Alice Pledden showing off their football shirt collection, stuff like that, and that kind of got me inspired to look around my local thrift shops to find some cool shirts. And you know how it happens, the snowball starts rolling and I ended up with around 200 shirts as of today. What are Feyenoord's aims with the Champions League to get to the last 16? I think that is quite of a realistic aim. I mean, they're first in their group stage right now, beating Celtic and Lazio and losing to Atletico, but they played very well actually. So I think our chances of getting to the last 16 are, I mean, quite alright. Does your wife have a football jersey or two? Yeah, she actually does. She has, I think, multiple, a lot of drill tops, a lot of sweaters, but some shirts as well, which I gifted to her or she picked up herself. So I think she has about 20 football shirts, sweaters, jackets, all combined. So that's a pretty nice collection for herself. Can anyone be a supporter of a football club without watching their matches weekly? Well, actually I do think so. I mean, watching your local team or your team on a weekly basis costs a lot of money and a lot of time. I mean, if you go to every single home game, like I do for example, I mean, it will cost me my entire afternoon and maybe a part of the morning and the evening. So it will cost a lot of time. It also costs a lot of money. I think especially when you live far away, it's very hard to get to the stadium each and every time. And watching the game on TV, I mean, you still have to pay for the TV, stuff like that. You need to have the time. And I think a lot of people just can't be bothered with that, whether it's from a time perspective or a financial perspective. But that doesn't mean that they're any less of a fan. I mean, you're not a better fan when you're attending each and every match. I mean, you can be as much of a supporter when you're just, you know, watching through the game results in the newspaper the next day. So I think, yeah, you could be. It's not my cup of tea because I really like supporting my team and going to the matches and watching their matches on TV. But I mean, if you're, like I said, not in the financial or time-wise position or like anything else, I mean, it's completely fine to not watch every single game of your club and you're not any less of a fan if you do so. The 5 best jerseys for the 23-24 season. So in my opinion, I really like the Southampton and Werder Bremen template that Hummel are currently bringing out. It has a lot of retro vibes, so I think those shirts are pretty cool. I really like Feyenoord's 4th shirt from this season, inspired by a map of the city, which we've seen with a lot of other teams. I think the AC Milan 3rd kit is brilliant. Looks very cool, but that is a very modern shirt. I like Real Madrid shirt, the home shirt especially. I think that's a really nice top. I think Benfica's and Manchester United's away shirts are up there, so I can't give you an exact top 5, but I think these are my favorite shirts for this season so far. What is your favorite shirt you have and what's the shirt you wish you owned? My favorite shirt is this Feyenoord 1983-1984 home shirt. It's the oldest shirt in my collection. It's, I think, the most valuable shirt in my collection. It has been my holy grail for a long time, so this is my favorite shirt. It's amazing. It is so old in like every aspect, from the material to the sponsor. to the color. I mean, everything is all about that shirt. Everything is retro about this shirt, and that is what I like a lot. So that's why it's my favorite. In terms of a shirt I wish I owned, I think that will be the Holland 88, the Forbidden Fiorentina 1996 home shirt. But weirdly enough, last year I visited South Africa and I went to Robben Island. During the tour they actually showed a football shirt as well, which they used right there amongst the prisoners to play football. And I think in terms of a collector item and the rarity and the importance of that item, I mean, such an item would be so cool to have in the collection as well. So it's not necessarily a rare or a beautiful shirt, but I think the sentimental value and I think the importance in history, like such a shirt made in that horrible place that it is, I think that is also like a shirt I would really like to see in person. I mean, I only saw a picture of it, but to see in person, or I mean, if I could have it in my collection, that would be crazy. That would never happen. But I think such shirts are also very, very important to remember when talking about such a thing. So that would be an amazing shirt to have in my collection. I know it would never happen. I mean, the chance of getting a Fiorentina, the band Fiorentina shirt, the Holland 88, are much bigger, I know. But those shirts are also shirts I'm kind of sensitive for, if you guys know what I mean. And I think a fine art shirt from the 70s, preferably worn, is also up there. So those are like the 3 shirts I really wish I owned, but I think it will be very, very, very hard or very, very, very expensive to own at least one, let alone all 3 of those shirts. Have you been at Win for shirt hunting? Are there good shops? I have not been to Vienna. I would love to go there sometimes to check out the shops. I think it will be crazily expensive because Austria and Switzerland are both very, very expensive countries. But in terms of shops, I don't know, can't recommend anything. Just use Google Maps and search for thrift shop, vintage store, football shirt store, stuff like that. And then mark them and just visit them all for yourself. That's basically how I hunt for football shirts. Will you ever buy any Ajax shirt for your collection? No, I won't, because I'm a Feyenoord supporter and Feyenoord and Ajax are arch rivals. I don't like the club at all. I don't like the players. I don't like their philosophy and their arrogance regarding towards football. I don't like the club. You could say, well, it's for collecting shirts. But I think that whenever you're collecting a shirt and especially wearing a shirt, you are kind of supporting that club. Another example, some clubs I don't like PSG, and I don't have any PSG shirts in my collection. I think whenever you're collecting a shirt, you also feel a certain sympathy towards that team or towards a player, stuff like that. And I mean, I don't feel any sympathy towards Ajax, so I won't ever own an Ajax shirt. Having said that, I do own an Ajax Cape Town shirt because necessarily they are not the same in my head. It's weirdly because Ajax Cape Town was a satellite club from Ajax Amsterdam, of course. But I really like this shirt. I actually visited an Ajax Cape Town match when I was younger in South Africa, so I really wanted a shirt like this. No name or number on the back, of course, but this is the only Ajax shirt I own and I will ever own, actually. What are the top 5 shirts that you would like to add to your collection? So I've already spoken about the West Ham shirt with the Dr. Martens sponsor. But in terms of obtainable shirts, I don't think the Holland 88 and the Fiorentina band shirt I mentioned previously are really shirts I could add to my collection personally. But I do want to add a Fiorentina match shirt to the collection. I already have a training shirt, but would like to add a match shirt, so a home or an away shirt, something like that. I also would like to add the away variant of this Feyenoord shirt to the collection, or the shirt that was worn in the season after with the Opel sponsor as well. Those are fairly rare and fairly expensive, but I think obtainable for my collection. I also would like to add a Porto shirt with the Rivalry sponsor, and my Portuguese is pretty awful, I think, but such a shirt is also a shirt that I would like to add to the collection. I would also like to add a Juventus shirt because I don't have any Juventus shirts yet, and then preferably from the 90s with a player like Del Piero on the back. And of course a Feyenoord shirt with Henrik Larsson on the back. I'm still looking for one. I've seen one online in a size small going for about 150 euros. So I think that will be a very expensive purchase if I find one in my size. But a final shirt with Larsson on the back is still very, very high up my list. Do you trade shirts or sell them? Yes, I do. I do sell shirts on my Vinted page and also on Marktplaats. There will be a link to my Vinted in the description where you can buy some of the shirts that I am selling. And by doing so, you're actually helping me because all the money you make from selling shirts is actually being reinvested into my collection and into this content. So you're helping me out by funding this channel and you're helping yourself out by getting yourself a nice shirt. In terms of trading, I actually don't trade shirts, or I do trade them whenever I like a shirt to purchase from someone else, and then I do him an offer by asking him to trade a shirt. But I'm never listing shirts with the intention of trading them. For example, someone was selling this Feyenoord shirt and I asked him if he would trade it for some of the shirts that I was selling, and he was interested in a certain Chelsea shirt that I was selling. So I actually traded that shirt for this one, but then again, that was because he was selling the shirt and I made him an offer to trade. I don't do it vice versa for now. Santiago Jimenez is doing very well. Do you think he would do well in the Premier League or the German League if he is to move this summer in 2024? I think his potential is very, very high. I mean, last year during this time, he was actually the third striker at our club Feyenoord behind Danilo and Igor Paixão. He was the third choice striker, and right now he's the #1 scoring in the Eredivisie and in the Champions League, of course. But I think in terms of his potential, I don't see him going to the Premier League or Germany. I think potentially he will go to La Liga. I've heard Real Madrid are interested, and I think that is a competition where he could fit in. I mean, the Premier League is just top every single game. The level is just so high, and I don't think he would fit straight into such a team. But with La Liga, you also have some lower teams who are like really under the level of a club like Real Madrid or Barcelona, and I think during those matches he could really make a difference. So I do see him going to Spain or maybe Portugal to a club like Benfica, but I would prefer to see him make a smaller step before making the big one. We've seen it with our captain Orkun Kökçü. He transferred from Feyenoord to Benfica this summer, and that's actually a little bit higher, I think. But I do think that is better than, like, for example, Donny van der Beek going to Man United and then flopping completely there. Same goes for Ziyech or for Luc de Jong, because I think that the Eredivisie is at a certain level, but it's not very close to like the Premier League. I mean, that difference is just too big, and I don't want to see him make that mistake, because potentially he's a world-class striker if he makes the right decisions, in my opinion. Do you have a German team you like? You say Liverpool is your English team. Yes, I do. I like Dortmund. I've been to a couple of games actually, and I really like Dortmund, just their philosophy being the underdog, fighting Bayern Munich with amazing transfer deals, in my opinion. So yeah, Dortmund is my team in Germany. iPhone or Android? Android. Actually, if both. I have an iPhone for my work, but I don't like it at all. So Android all the way. How many shirts do you have with food sponsors? As this is something you spoke about before and one you like. I do have this Shamrock Rovers with Pepper on the front, although I think Pepper is not a company advertising peppers or chilies whatsoever, but this is like the only food item I have on the front of any of my shirts. So I think I should add a food sponsor, a real food sponsor to the collection ASAP. Then again, I do have two shirts with drink sponsors, one being a Carabao energy drink. Not very known. I've actually never seen a Carabao energy drink can, but I don't know. And of course a Fiorentina shirt with the iconic 7-Up sponsor. So in terms of beverages, I have two actually. And that will conclude this video for today. Thank you to all the guys that send in questions. Thank you very much. You've helped make this video possible, so thank you for that. Do you agree with my opinions? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, leave a like. Subscribe to my channel for more football shirt related content and hit that bell notification so you will be notified whenever I upload a new video. Having said that, thanks for watching and I wish you guys have an amazing day. And I see you in the next video. Bye bye!